This is Boxing Tickets NI. We are delighted to be joined once again on Zoom with probably one of the busiest pros in Ireland in 2024, Eoghan Lavin. How are you?
Good, yeah. It's good. You know what? It's mad to even hear you say that because there was some months I thought I was never going to get fights, but yeah, we're flying it now at the minute.
It's crazy. Like I know we're what it's nearly coming up a year, obviously, since it was announced that you were turning pro. Um,
Hmm.
do you think it coming up now? Obviously, you didn't make your debut. I think what was it, the April? So like, there's still a good
April.
bit of time left before your debut year's over. But like, I guess, and obviously, when you're making your pro debut in April, like, if somebody had said to you, you're going to fight in York Hall, you're going to fight in SSE Arena, you're going to fight in Waterford, and you're also going to fight in Birmingham before Christmas, like, you would have snapped their hands off.
Yeah, definitely. So like my thing when I was going pro was anyone that was anything to do with me. A couple of the promoters, the reason I didn't sign with them early on was because they couldn't guarantee me activity. And that was what I needed. I was out so long as an amateur and whatnot. I needed activity. So I'm an absolute headache for people to work with because if I'm in the gym more than a month without a fight, I'm haunting them to get me a fight. So they've done well. They've kept me busy. I got on a care last week just to keep me ticking over. And yeah, by the time April comes back around, hopefully I'll be 6-0.
That's a perfect start for you, isn't it? That's what you want sometimes. You want activity. Like you're still young, you're a baby in the game, but the best way for you to learn is not in the gym. You can do
That's
so
it.
much learning in the gym, but it's learning in the ring. And I guess the good thing for you as well is that you've got the monkey off your back now as well. You have your first stoppage as a pro, and I know we spoke about this in Belfast, and you're saying it's going to come as the levels go up. The opponent was game, obviously, and that's what you said. When they come forward and they come to fight, that's when that obviously they'll happen. Like you're glad to get that out the way now. Because I guess the further it goes on, people's going, can this guy punch? And like you proved it straight away.
Look, anyone that doubts if I can punch, if they do a couple rounds sparring and whatnot, they know I can punch. I'm always look. I'm not signed by the people I'm signed with if I couldn't punch. But yeah. So with that opponent, what I was saying proved to be right. If you come to swing with me, you're gonna get chinned. And that's what happened. He knocked one or two lads out. He knocked out Jack Oliphant. And then he got giddy and he came and he thought he was going to knock me out. He'd done a lot of talking beforehand and whatnot. But since I've spoken with him, he's actually a really nice dude. But he came to swing, he came to punch, and then that's when I can if I can land on your chin, you're going to sleep. But like you seen the difference in the last opponent that I boxed last weekend. I think he threw maybe two punches the whole fight. He just tucked up, and he was hurt so many times but when they're tucking up like that over 4 rounds, they can survive. Over 6, 8 rounds, they're not surviving. They're not going to tuck up for 6 rounds getting better up. But for 4 rounds, I'd fancy my own chance of just tucking up and holding on. Um, but yeah, no, it's just been learning. It's 4 fights. I think from debut for last weekend, you can just see the difference fight on fight. And each fight, like the second, even just the second to the third fight, you could just see massive differences. And that's only what people can see. The work I can see going on in the gym, I can see the difference on sparring, good quality opponents, the different level how I'm getting on with them and stuff like that. Um, so yeah, it's so far it's been a great start to the year, and when I'm saying the year, my year is ending the 20th of April, so I'll push to get as much as I can in before that.
It's the annoying part, I guess it's the mental aspect you sort of have to get with, from fighting at the top levels and amateur. They obviously then having opponents where their job sort of, and I guess we're not slating it away because that's their job. They survive at times. Like, is it annoying for you whenever
Hmm.
someone's at the opposite side of the ring from you and they're not as active as you want them to be?
It can be, but I have so much respect for the away fighters. It's because I've been in the corner the other side, working with one or two other fighters behind the scenes as their team, and we've been in the away fighters changing room and stuff like that. They have a different experience of boxing, and I think boxing's tough. But the boxing that them boys are treated with, like they're flew in last minute. They try kill them on the way. They try, mess them about on making the weigh-ins. They'll bring them late they'll either bring them very late or very early to the venue. They give them no time to warm up properly. They absolutely do all sorts of them. And I'm just thinking of one particular night. They just they just deal with everything. They just say, yeah, okay, no problem. Yeah, no problem. They go out. Some of them go out and get absolutely bashed up, and they just come in as just another day in the office, and they're checking each other over. Yeah, yeah. Oh, no cut. They're celebrating if they've got no cuts because they can fight again next week. And it's just like they're tough, tough men. But from to answer your question, it's a different learning. So I know when I made my debut, I was watching this guy and I'd seen him beat some middle and okay lads. I've seen him drawn with beaten slash drawn with some Irish lads, and I was like, you're looking, and I was like, right, okay, I got to be on my game now because this guy. But after about 10 seconds, he knew if he came to fight with me, he was going to get ginger, he was going to get slapped. He was boxing again the next week, so he's thinking, I'm surviving with this guy, but I'm being a completely. That was my debut. I'm watching him. I'm waiting for him to do something so I can counter it, and then the fight's over, and I'm like, I thought he was going to do something. He looked like he was going to. So these guys are professionals at doing what they do. Um, the last guy of the weekend, you could tell I was a much more experienced. I was boxing like an experienced pro. But there was no way of getting him out. I bust both my hands on his head. In the first round, I come back. I was like, I'd never hit a head so hard. His head was it was like hitting a slab, and it was just like they're experienced men. But where it's frustrating is people that are watching. It's not. They're watching me just walking after punching someone for 4 rounds. They're not watching a fight, and people love they love a bit of a tear up. So, look, them days will come. I'm sure the next opponent, whoever they give me someone that's going to fancy his chances to come and win. So that's when he'll walk on to getting chinned again.
I guess you've probably had the experience, obviously, a cut, obviously in Belfast, obviously at the end of the fight, probably annoyed you because it probably kept you out of the ring a bit longer than you anticipated. This is a good thing for you, is you have your first year of your learning, where you've got a stoppage, you've had a cut, you have different types of opponents. You even had Anthony Crolla sort of missing, like for that knockout. Like I was wondering, I was going, does Crolla just need to leave you alone in fight week until fight day? And then you'll be annoyed so much you just go and take it out on the opponent. Like I was speaking to him obviously
Do you
because
know
he was in
what?
Belfast for Robbie Davis fight, and I said about your fight the weekend. He goes, "Yeah, baby steps," and then boom.
I know. Look, my plan was I was always knocking that fella out. In my head, I was talking to anyone I was talking to, family wise. I'm like, if I don't knock him out, I'm gonna be like a bull. I'm gonna be so mad. And not because anything like that. It was because I actually had a bit of spite for me. People were questioning if I was gonna beat that guy, and I was like, what the fuck am I gonna beat this guy? And I seen like he fancied himself for the fight, so I was thinking, look, brilliant. If he fancied himself, no problem. Let's come and have a shootout. He come to have a shootout. I'm not losing on the shootout. Um, so see, the last week that wasn't a Queensberry show, so it wasn't like a step up opponent. It was just a tough journeyman opponent. Whereas I think my fight with Queensberry now, each fight with them, they're going to be giving me step up, live opponents that are going to come, and that's where I'm going to shine the more. Look, stepping up rounds now as well. So the opponent's going to be better. I'm going to look better, and it is look, it's baby steps in the gym because we're improving so much each time that we're thinking there's no rush. We see the improvements. Boxing these guys, we're improving massively from fight to fight. So we're in no rush. But look, we're ready. If they want me to fight anyone, I'm like, yeah, no problem. But we're not in a rush because we're improving so much anyway. It's not in boxing. You get to like a point where you get to a level where improving anymore at that level. It's time to jump up. You need to jump into a big opponent. But at the minute, I'm still improving loads, so there's no big rush.
And obviously, talk to me obviously about the gym environment, obviously the
Uh,
Croft brothers obviously both
uh,
made their debuts in Waterford as
yes,
well. So obviously they're both around your weight, so you probably spar quite a lot as well.
yeah. There's about seven of us in the gym around the one weight, so we're all we're all sparring. There's me, the two lads, William Crolla, Zahir Iqbal, James Moorcroft. I probably forgot people now. Bobby's moved down weight now, but yeah, there's loads of sparring. There's so much sparring, but definitely the Crofts is two very very good lads. So there's no short if you want anyone to get better up. There's no shortage. They'll throw someone in with me.
Is it sometimes the
Don't
worst
beat
when
me up
you
now. I'm not saying I'm beating anyone up.
is it worse sometimes when you have the in-house sparring rather than sort of going somewhere else because you can probably push each other more. I guess in some ways it can be good, in some ways it can be bad, but they get it like they mix it up sometimes and see a different style rather than probably the same faces.
Yeah, so like to be fair, we do spar a good bit, but we don't spar an awful lot with each other. There's so many because there's so many of us there. There's always other people coming in to spar as well. So as well, then we've all been given different opponents with different styles and whatnot. There's nearly always one of us in the gym that can imitate the opponent's style or whatever. Like you said, if I'm sparring a southpaw, I can spar ioan. If I'm sparring, someone walking forward, I can spar garan. But there's the other opponents are doing that, like Lewis Crocker was coming in there, gym a good bit for sparring. Um, there's always someone because around Manchester there's so many around that weight anyway. Between middleweight, super middles and whatnot. So there's no sparring is perfect. There's no shortage of it.
Speaking obviously of Lewis Crocker, obviously him and Paddy's fight was announced on Saturday night, and I think it was getting ready. It was
Hmm.
going to break the internet. Like, isn't that great when you can see so much hype around two Irish fighters? Obviously, north, east, south. Like, it's bragging rights. It's the
Brilliant.
title of the best welterweight in Ireland. Like,
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
sure it
yeah.
probably has you giddy sort of in some ways when you're seeing
It
two
has.
Irish
We were
fighters
talking about
going
it in
for
the
it.
gym. Yeah, we were talking about it in the gym. It was like Lewis being Belfast, and he's been in the gym a lot, so the lads know. To be fair, I don't really know him at all, but he's been in the gym with other lads a good bit, so they all fancy him to win it. I know Paddy, so I've not really watched much of Lewis, so I need to watch. I need to watch him. I know he can bang. I know he's very good, even just from the stories from the lads in the gym. So, yeah, look, it's a really really good time for Irish boxing. There's a lot happening in Irish boxing now, but I think the proper with the likes of the proper promoters coming into the Irish scene, I think that one's being done up in Belfast, is it?
Yeah, Belfast SSE
Yeah.
Arena.
So they'll be running it under the British border control, but hopefully with the bigger promoters start putting on shows down south, it might bring Irish boxing back to being ran properly. Because it's being ran far from proper at the minute. But yeah, hopefully it is exciting times for Irish boxing, but just hopefully it doesn't get blocked now with bad people involved in it.
Yeah, definitely. Obviously, I know the big sort of thing now is potentially Katie and obviously Serrano
Hmm.
going again in Croke Park. Like you're probably sick of hearing Croke Park as much probably as I am because it seems to be false promises sometimes, and we're probably going through
I
the same.
can't see it, to be honest.
Yeah, it's
Anyone that tells me that, I'd say absolutely not. I was in Three Arena for the first fight. It's an atmosphere, the best atmosphere I've ever seen at a boxing thing, and everybody says that for the second fight was even better. But how long did it take them to sell out the Three Arena for the second fight?
I don't even think it sold out the second time.
So who's interested in seeing it a third time? It's not the same fight. I know Serrano, but and I know even since the last fight, any Irish people I know talking about Katie, just the casual boxing fans, anyone I've spoke to since, and I argue against them, but they're all, oh, Katie was dirty, Katie was headbutting. When even though that's wrong, I say she's not, absolutely not. But when that's the general census back home, they all love Katie. Katie's loved. Like, she's the Queen of Ireland, but there's nobody going to. They're not going to fill out 86,000 people in Grove
Yeah,
Park when it's gone from when she originally first fought in Ireland. You would anybody in the country would ever say a word wrong about Katie. Whereas now it's she's greedy. She shouldn't be. She should be finished now. She shouldn't be fighting. It's Eddie Hearn trying to make money out of her. Even though I think she 100% she should keep fighting, and it's like why would she stop fighting? But yeah, I can't see. But Matchroom know that Matchroom are not. That's one thing I know from working with Matchroom. When it comes to their money, they're not stupid. So probably to be fair, the most likely thing would be a third Three Arena out. That's what
yeah.
I think, possibly. But then, like, I don't even know if the rematch with Serrano will happen. I could see the rematch with Chantella. I know Chantella is mandatory now for some of her belts, so I'd like to see that rematch. I'd like to see the third. me being from my own thingy, Chantel's now Queensberry, so I hope that stuff like that happens.
It's one of them. Like I'd probably have the opinion if someone said to me, "Do you think Katie should retire?" I'd say yes. And at the same time,
Mm.
obviously, if someone says should she stay and do one more, it's that whole thing of one more. What is it? One more because if it's one more and then another offer comes, it's hard to say no. You know,
Look,
you're a
that's
good few
it. Look,
years away from you having to think in retirement, but
I've one more. That's it. Eventually, you need to call it. So, you know, we were talking about it, me and Anthony today in the gym, and my pal there, Levi, across from us, but it's like when you keep going for one more. So Anthony AJ was the question of it. I was saying absolutely not. Why would he retire when you fight someone and make 50 million? It's like why would you retire when you've spent your whole career getting to a certain stage that yeah you can take one more fight, but like you said, it's eventually you got to look at it and say right, you're kind of while she's winning, it's okay, but all it is for Katie to go and have one fight where it's not even a close fight where one of the younger girls they'll come and they'll just tear her apart. And then that's when it's kind of sad then for a legacy to see where right that's where a case of you went on too long. You know, you kind of seen it with like fighters like Roy Jones and them where they just carried on too long where they ended up just kind of like brings back their career a little bit because you see them at the end getting absolutely destroyed and you're like right were they actually that good the whole way up then or not? Um,
yeah, it
but look,
spoils
if it
your.
pays Katie, if Katie can get a couple of million or even a million or whatever it is, for a fight in Ireland, I'd like to see her not even worry about defending her belts, fight someone she can. From what I know of Katie in Ireland, she could fight a balloon in Three Arena, and the same amount of people would still come as if she's fighting Amanda Serrano. So, that's what I said should have been done for her first fight in Ireland. For her homecoming, just give her someone a safe fight. They do it with the men. They give the men safe fights. So look, I think whatever Katie does, she'll get paid well to do it. And yeah, I don't think she's many much more in her, but I think it was sad. I didn't like to see the way the Irish people, a lot of Irish people, didn't back her after the last one. I think I think she did win the fight. And I don't think she was boxing dirty. I thought she was boxing a southpaw, and she boxed the same way she always does. Girls drop their heads. They do it. You see them now with the head guards off and the amateurs. They're all getting cut because they just do when they're boxing when they're throwing multiple punches. They put their head down, they close their eyes, and they let them go. um, so I think Katie was just doing that, and they banged heads a couple of times. But I didn't like the way Irish people didn't back her. I seen on comments on Facebook and stuff like that. They're all slating, her, and I'm like it's always going to happen. But you were just maybe it's just we're not used to seeing it with Katie. Normally, when it comes to Katie, it's nothing but praise. But yeah, it's let's see what comes from her.
That's the way the world is, unfortunately.
That's
Obviously,
it.
how you enjoying? Obviously, being away from home. Obviously, been away from family and stuff. Probably the tough part for you, but it's the sacrifices you obviously have to make for your career and 5 or 10 years time when you're headlining cards and getting big money. How are you finding that sacrifice of I guess technology the way it is nowadays. You can always jump on a video call and speak to people and things like that. But how are you finding that adjustment away from home?
Uh, yeah. Look, Manchester is almost like a second home now. I have a couple little bits of family over here and whatnot, and like the gym, we're all like family. We actually have a gym Christmas party tomorrow night, so we're all planning for that. But look, it is tough. What I got, I think I was talking to you last week about this, the investments of what will hopefully pay off in the future. But you feel the investments now. Look, it's expensive. Manchester's expensive to live in. You're paying expensive rent. It's expensive. Everything is expensive. When you're going fight to fight, you're chasing sponsors. You're trying to get proper sponsors on board. And it's tough, but it is tough for businesses now. It's a tough economy at the minute. So hopefully, the more fights we get, the more money we get, the more the investment starts paying off, and things get a little bit easier. But look, I'm in a blessed position to be where I'm with that I actually do get paid, and I get paid well, to be a pro. Um, so I'm lucky that I'm not. Some of the I see some of the guys. I know some of the guys, even some of the Irish lads. I see some of the deals. and why I'm thinking, wow, how or why or what kind of manager advised you that that was a good deal to sign. Um, but yeah, look, I'm blessed in the point of view where any problems now at the minute is a privilege to have because I'm signing with Queensberry. I'm boxing at the highest level with the biggest promoter in the world, working with the biggest names in the sport. So any problems I have now is a privilege to have.
And I'm guessing, obviously, where you were saying to me earlier on, obviously, if you're back in camp for more than a month, you've no fight news. You're back in camp now. Obviously, I don't want you giving away any secrets or anything, but I'm guessing you're hopefully close to having your first fight of 2025 announced.
Yeah, we're close to having two of them announced. We won't go too far ahead because I'm sure they give me a good opponent for the first one, especially it's a big show. Two big shows, but it's a big one in February. I won't say too much because I know everyone else is trying to get in the show. If they hear I'm on it, they'll all be ringing up saying, "Hey, why is he on it and I'm not?" But yeah, it's going to be exciting. I'll do about 400 tickets for it. I'd say, maybe more. I'll do big tickets for it. It's in a good location for people to come to, and it's gonna I think kickstart a lot of things. It's gonna start paying that investment off. So yeah, hopefully it should be good.
Rather than giving £2 and giving a pound away, you'll £3 and give 50p away then.
I know. That's it. It's you kind of you're getting it back a little bit now on this one. So hopefully in the next couple of weeks, ideally I'd like to do it before Christmas, but this is a hard week when the Saudi business is going on. It's always hard to get stuff over the line when the business is going on in Saudi. But hopefully over Christmas into the new year we can announce it, and then we've not got long then to train for it. So I'm back in camp now already. So we're working for it.
And will the next one then be six? Obviously, I know that's four rounders done. I guess like you're in no rush to sort of progress, to get into them sooner. But like, is the idea to maybe go on these six and obviously see?
I hope so. That's what I'm telling them. I want six because I'm 64. Do you know even the likes of the opponent the last four when you're breaking when you're breaking a good season pro down 4 rounds is way too short to do. So that opponent he was doing 10 rounds with light heavyweights. So he was doing four with me at middleweight. Now, by the way, he didn't even weigh in. Um, he wasn't at the weigh-in, so I don't even know what weight he came in at. But that was just that was a different situation altogether. It's a different from now. I'll be fighting under the BVOC anymore. But for over 4 rounds, it's hard to break them down. So I'm looking forward to getting on the six now. Look, people only think of the fight. I could do 6 rounds tomorrow without any training, no problem. But it's a different training. You got to have a tougher, longer camp. As you're going up the rounds, your training and your camps get more intense. They get longer. You're doing more sparring, everything like that. So that's where the difficulty comes from going up in the rounds. The fight is easy. The fight is the easy part. I could do 10 rounds tomorrow, you know. But it's when you've not put the proper camp in and you get in there, and then all of a sudden the 10 rounds aren't so easy, or the 6 rounds or 8 rounds, whatever it is. So you need to have the proper camp put in, um, just to have every box ticked off. So that's where the difficulty is. But yeah, that's what I'm asking for. I'm saying, look, I'm asking the last fucking since I gone pro. So I want 6 rounds because I want to start. If these ads are tough getting through, that when I start breaking them down, I start stopping them then. But look, I'm in no rush. I got four good rounds against just one hard man that could just take every punch, everything. And in the end, I think in the fourth round, I was walking after him with my hands down, hoping he'd bite at something, and he was fucked up. And he put his hands to the side and shook his head and said, "I'm doing nothing," and put his hands back up again. So I was just thinking, wow, I was like, these men are just tough, crazy fuckers. But yeah, all going well. I'll be 6 rounds now.
Are you looking forward to obviously your first Christmas as a pro? Obviously back in camp. Will you go home for a couple of days over Christmas, or is that going to be you stuck in Manchester?
Hopefully, so I'm going to be talking with them this week. I'm going to be chasing up, see can I get any word back from Saudi to see, make sure I'm on that thing so I can plan. last thing I want to do is not spend any time at home for Christmas and then end up not fighting. So, look, then things happen. The plans change in the pros. It's an absolute hectic scenario, but hopefully I'll get home next week for a day or two, and I'll get back over then. But even when I'm at home, anyway, I'm always in contact with Anthony. I'm always in contact with the lads. One of them might even come over with me and just keep me ticking over. And I'm back home, I'm out anyway in Ballyona, so I'll be training there anyway.
Definitely. Well, look, obviously it's great to get a catch up. Obviously, so close to Christmas. Well, fingers crossed. Obviously, you get that confirmation that you're going to be, fighting obviously in February at an unconfirmed date and an unconfirmed location. But we'll look forward to obviously getting some fight news. Hopefully, you get it prior to Christmas because it'll be an early Christmas present for you.
I know.
But look, obviously enjoy your Christmas. Obviously enjoy your New Year. Obviously, of what you're able to sort of celebrate it. Not the normal sort of conventional way, but obviously have a great time over Christmas, and we'll look forward
And
to
you too.
catching up with you in 2025.
And you too. And look, it's been a big year for you as well. It's I think what is it? You got your first million
First
on
million.
first million. You're fucking flying it. But look, like that is well deserved. The hard work pays off. It's from me. People are thinking. Some people say I've heard some stories going back from back home and the jealous ones in the Irish boxing scene. Thinking I'm lucky or thinking I must have some cousin that managed to get me with Anthony Joshua or something like that. But hard work pays off, and from what's happening for me, it didn't come through luck. It come through hard work, and it's the same for you. It's I don't know anyone else on the boxing media scene that is keeping up with them. I think you've been at every show. You got to Waterford.
I missed one. I missed Waterford. So
You missed
I done
Waterford.
what?
Well, you
So
were absolutely lucky because it's a horrible place to get to. So I don't
I
know
done
from
Waterford
Mayo anyway,
last
it was a
year.
horrible drive. Yes, yes.
So I done Waterford
But
last year and missed it this year.
look, yeah, but there's very few. I know even. But, oh, you're just right. You were in Belfast. You were with
Yeah.
me. But look, that's what I'm glad to see it's starting to pay off. With the getting YouTube. You start calling out J Paul or something now, doing some start doing
I,
some Misfits box. We get you on the Misfit scene.
I don't know about that. I think I probably
I
better
reckon you yourself and we get yourself and Matt Meeting. We get yourself and Matt Meeting. Do a few rounds.
I'd be too sore on him, I think. I've watched too much boxing in the years. I'm an armchair professional.
That's it. Look, listen, you got the knowledge. You got it. To be fair, you're probably going to coach it now at this stage. You probably know more than half the coaches.
I don't know. I wouldn't go that far now. Well, look, Owen, it's a pleasure as always to catch up with you. We'll look
And you
forward to
too.
hearing you getting your fifth pro fight news very soon.
That's it. That's it. Hopefully, all going well now. We'll get it out. Fingers crossed before the new year.
Yeah, well, listen, a pleasure as always, and we'll catch up with you soon.
Good man. Good
Cheers,
man.
take
Gentlemen,
care.
I'll talk to you later.
Cheers, thanks. Bye bye. Bye bye. Bye.